Hi, Kelly. Well, these sleeper cells have long been the worry of the intelligence community. And by definition, sleeper cells, for those who don't know, are spies or terrorists who are in our country or Western countries and inactive until they are essentially ordered to act. And experts that we've talked to said that should the U.S. join these strikes against Iran, they may try to activate these sleeper cells in the U.S. and the West. A recent Department of Homeland Security threat assessment concurs. It says, we expect Iran to remain the primary sponsor of terrorism and continue its efforts to advance plots against individuals, including current and former U.S. officials in the United States. Now, that echoed similar guidance from the Biden Department of Homeland Security in 2024. And now experts say, given this escalation between Israel and Iran, the possibility is very real. Here's Barak Senior. He's a senior fellow at the Henry Jackson Society.
As the conflict in the Middle East escalates and Iran is being targeted, the regime thinks to itself, okay, we are on our last death throes, and therefore we will go out with a bang, quite literally. Its calculus will be very different if its survivability is threatened. Intelligence services in the US are working overtime to contend and mitigate risks and threats that can emerge on its domestic soil. The more protracted this conflict goes on, there is heightened risk for both US forces and assets in the Middle East, but also to US security domestically.
Now, just to put this in perspective, how this works, during last year's presidential campaign, federal prosecutors charged an operative of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard and two US-based people with planning to surveil and assassinate President Trump. That operative reportedly told investigators IRGC officials encouraged him to plan the attack. Then in February, just this February, President Trump's national security memo said, quote, Iran has also directed its proxy groups, including Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, to embed sleeper cells in the homeland to be activated in support of this terror activity. So just to reiterate, experts we spoke to said that should the U.S. join these attacks on Iran, they may try to activate these sleeper cells, Kelly.
Yeah, it's a scary reality. So, Rich, how do these sleeper cells work? Who controls them, orders them to act?
It's a good question. And from the experts we're talking to, a lot of this is controlled through the proxy groups, Hamas and Hezbollah. Experts say the landscape has changed. Israel's effectively taken out Iran's proxy groups, Hamas and Hezbollah, since October 7th, 2023. So the Islamic Revolutionary Guard is somewhat isolated now.
If Israel's able to decapitate the IRGC's command and control, who actually then controls these sleeper cells anymore? Do they become more decentralized, more atomized? Do they become more like lone wolf actors? Who pays them even? Because the regime is in its last throes. So these are all questions. And for intelligence and security forces, it becomes a lot more challenging to monitor and identify who are going to be imminent threats when they are more decentralized and atomized and functioning like lone wolf actors.